Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Shock Talk. We have a very special guest with us today. One of our German colleagues from the marketing department in Germany has joined us on the show, and we're just really looking forward to spending some time and talking with Fabi. Fabi, welcome. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I'm good.
Yeah?
How are you?
You enjoying our rainy weather that you brought with us from Germany?
Yeah,
or?
I was here within the last 2 years 2 times, and it was always rainy.
Yeah?
So I don't believe that California is sunny.
You bring the rain with you.
Yeah,
I think that's the case. So again, thank you for joining us. And we put together a couple topics that we thought might be interesting to talk over. So let's start with the first one. So from a motorsports background, what is your favorite form of motorsports, either here or in Germany?
I'm influenced from my job.
Okay.
And we work with mostly AMG GT3 or something, so the very high end of track racing, of round course,
right?
Round course, right?
Right.
So this is what I like, or even the smaller classes like TCR cars,
right? Right.
Because they are like a copy somehow from the street cars, so you still recognize those, like the Golfs and those Audis,
kind of like American stock car racing.
Yeah,
except for on the ring instead.
Yeah, and then you can buy this performance version for the street. So the high end and those cars which feel like you can almost buy it. This is what I like. Yeah,
kind of buy it. Except for theirs is worth
everything is changed, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
it's more relatable.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I compare it to, well, I'm sure Germany would never want us to compare it to the American stock cars, which are, again, the same idea. It's a stock car that's kind of built up to race on a round track. And
make
Not
you
want to buy that. Yeah. So, I mean, on that topic, we have a facility at the Nürburgring. So tell us about what's there and how we interact with the racers there.
Yeah. I don't know how long we have this facility now. I think it's probably around 2 years. And it's in the middle of a roundabout, so we really just ask for permission to build a building in there, and we have a 7-post rig in there, so you can
shaker rig,
you can move the car in 7 directions, so all kinds of things. And this is so we entered the hypermarket. The hypercar market somehow with it, so many really high end cars.
Are you able to say which brands?
What's a hypercar?
Yeah, which brands?
Isn't it the thing here?
I've never heard of that.
Well, it's like a McLaren, right?
Like a McLaren is maybe the entrance
right
of this. It's
maybe
a
like
supercar.
A Bugatti Veyron.
Yeah, exactly. Those are hypercars, or like a Koenigsegg, or like.
So what makes a hypercar?
It's just made for maximum performance, and it's in Germany you're very restricted for being street legal, and those cars are only produced like a handful of times, costing 1 million euros or something, and they are made for maximum performance and really tick. They're very close to not being allowed on the streets anymore.
Okay, so right to the limit.
Like AMG 1, for example, or something. They really try to put everything from the motorsport into a serious car for the streets. But it's only produced, I don't know, 10, 20 times, something like this. And it's very expensive then. So
they're using the shaker rig to develop BILSTEIN products for these vehicles? Or
yes, the 7-post rig gives the engineers a bunch of data. So they need it for their whole driving experience, driving behavior, so they can also see how the car behaves without driving it, which makes it a lot cheaper. If you would go to the track, you would need to rent it. You have the car needs fuel. You use the tires, the brakes, and everything is expensive.
Yep.
So this is what makes it cheap. You have live data, and then you can change something, and then 2 days later you can test it again before you go to the street. So you're very close in having in aiming for what you wanted to have as a driving behavior before you go even to the streets.
Right.
Does it record the track?
Yes.
The Nürburgring?
Yes, it is recorded. Yes.
Do you have other tracks in there as well?
We have all kinds of tracks in there. At the end, I mean, we would need to ask our 7-post engineer for more details. But at the end, what I know, they use some difficult parts of the Nürburgring because you have heights and lows and corners which lean really much into it. So they test those extreme parts, and then they go for different frequencies, very slow moving until very high frequency, which is like a vibration or something.
Right.
And if the car behaves on all those frequencies very well, then you have a good feeling for if it works or if it doesn't.
Right, so close to the track setting, and then again, take it out on the track.
So did they do like shock revalves and adjustments and then run it again and see how?
Yeah, they do it.
So they'll tune the shocks on the rig even before it gets out into the track.
For example, what we use in the GT3 Motorsport is the 5-way adjustable Evo R, and so you have 5 ways of adjusting it. And what you do there is you put the car into the 7-post rig, and then you simulate the Nürburgring track, and then you say, okay, we need to change a few clicks,
right?
And then you write it down or leave it as it is, and then you have a setting for the Nürburgring, and then you can change it, for example, to a different track. I don't know. Different kind of track, and then you can say, we need a different setting there, and we can just adjust it by the clicks or something. So you are prepared.
Yeah, that's similar to what a crew chief would do in the United States, is prep the car for each track and know by clicks on the shock which track I'm setting up for. We do the same with the motorsports in the United States.
Except for, in this case, they're doing it without having to actually drive.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes we do it driving the car. Sometimes we do it, we don't have access to the expensive 7-post rig, but some race teams actually have shaker rigs where they can test on. That's definitely, like, I've seen pictures of it, and I haven't been able to see it. I've been to Germany several times, but never while that was working, or it was never even under construction when I went there. So if I get to go again, I definitely want to stop in and see.
So what is the official name of this the center there?
The center is called Competence Center.
BILSTEIN Competence Center?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And I guess we have some pretty famous neighbors. So like there's one of the famous Porsche racing teams is on one side.
Manthey. Yeah. Manthey Racing. They belong officially now to Porsche. So Aston Martin is their other suspension manufacturers. So they are all, it's a 3-minute drive to the Nürburgring. It's in Moispad. And the whole scene is there because you can make adjustments, you can rework things, and then you can go to the track. So you're basically where you need the parts.
Right.
So, and this is why they developed probably directly there.
So in the BILSTEIN Competence Center, aside from the shaker post, the 7-post, what else goes on there?
This is the heart, to be honest. And we really use this a lot, and we like to be at the Nürburgring directly. This is one of the main parts. So our whole motorsport team is there. We have our storage there, our motorsport engineering. So it's all in one hand. And different facilities in Germany have different tasks. For example, we have a performance plant, which for the Evo products and coilover suspension. And then we have a different plant for OE production. So they are all like very specific.
Now at the ring, do we have a team that we sponsor and a car that we race that's badged or liveried with our symbols?
we in the past years we always had this AMG GT3 with the HRT team. So it's a tradition of Bilstein that a blue and yellow car, a Bilstein car in the livery of the Bilstein colors, is participating. And we work on that. This is to be continued. It's still not 100% clear, but in 1 or 2 weeks we can announce it. But it will continue. And and this is the GT3 side. And we also had, I think it's almost 2 years ago, we had the idea to have our own race team, because it's a different approach. Sometimes you go with big brands or with very specific agencies who build race cars, and then you put the livery on, and then you are visible at some races like the 24-hour race or something. But we tried something new and be seen in Twitch, YouTube live stream. So we took influencers. We don't like to say the word, to be honest, but they have good reach. And we built a race team of those because the guys I'm talking about are the best ones in sim racing, and we had the dream to teach them how to drive properly at the ring, and they wanted to join this, so we made it reality.
Is that coming up, or is that already happened?
No, this happened already. I don't know if it's a thing here, if it's visible here, but it's guys from the UK, Jimmy Broadbent, Steve, Super GT, Misha Shahrudin, and we have a proper race driver who have been on the AMG side, Manuel Metzger, and those 4 guys are doing this for 2 years now.
Oh, nice.
Last year we had the BMW GT4, so the M4 car as a race car, and we will continue this year because last year 24-hour race was cancelled due to fog. And we did not really had a 24-hour race, which was sad.
You had all the investment in the race.
Last year we did invest into this race team with the good following and the good reach, and also we did like a lightning car, which was very new. So you had some. It's called Luminor. So you had some panels which are lighting up at night.
Oh yeah.
And it was the first time that we had this on a race car, but then the night was there for 1 or 2 hours, and then the race was stopped. So
you got to see it for 1 or 2 hours.
Yeah.
So what kind of things did you learn with the race team? With the what are some takeaways with that? It sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, we did really create it from scratch. I mean, we have good contacts with people and companies realizing such ideas. And at this time, we had our friends and partners Black Falcon, and we also did, for example, the GT3 classes with them 4 or 5, 6 years ago. And so we have a good partnership with them. And they said we can create a car and build the car as you need it, make it ready for the race, and you just bring the people. And so we did a cooperation with them in making this a reality. Which is what is difficult is they are good at sim racing, and they're really good. They are one of the best from their stats. But in the real race, you have different situations. You have sometimes accidents. Then you can't drive anymore, or you try to fix it really quick. So it's really if we as a team join and watch these races when the guys go out, we are always like it's always like heart beating and very. I'm very nervous those 4 hours or 6 hours.
It's not on a simulator; it's real now.
Yeah, it's real, and we had and things happen. Like somebody drives the corner, you didn't expect it, and then you touch it, and then you're at high speed, and then expensive parts are damaged, and it's always very nerve-wracking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is the car like a factory homologated car, or was that built up?
It's 95% homologated.
Okay.
What is not is we to finance this team, we included partners to this. We have Falcon Tires, Ravenol Oil. This year we will announce a new brake partner, and those parts are not homologated, and also not the BILSTEIN product, the race suspension on this very car.
The one that's still secret.
No, the BILSTEIN suspension is. The BILSTEIN suspension is on the GT4 BMW. We will run this again.
Right.
The suspension is not homologated, but we still can use it. But then we drive in a different class, and also have GT4 cars in comparison. But yeah.
So we had a question, and I don't know if you know the exact whole answer, but do you know the legacy of the Nürburgring. Do you know the story behind the racetrack?
To be honest, I don't know. I think because it's called the hardest racetrack in the world.
Because of the elevation changes and the corners. And
yeah.
It's long. It's what, 13 miles?
It should be 14 miles. It's 21 kilometers.
Yeah. So that's a long lap.
Yeah, it's a very long lap. You take 7 till 9 minutes, depending on the car and depending on how long the track is. But it's very long, and you have to drive many laps to remember every corner. And many people who are used to racing still doing mistakes there. And I think this is the thing. Every year, because we have a very good partnership also with the Nürburgring, we notice and we receive the information that they have to change the track every year a little bit. Like they notice difficult corners where people crash the car or something, and they try every year to make it a little bit safer, but still keep the legacy and the Nürburgring as it is. But it's so difficult to drive that they have to do this, and I think this is at the end the answer. It's so difficult. It's so long. There are many. The 24-hour race is taking place there. 24 hours at this place. I'm working for BILSTEIN since 11 years, and I participated on a 24-hour race where we saw on the screen, on the live stream camera, that it was, I don't know what's it called when it's raining little ice cubes.
Hail.
Yeah. And on the other side, we put sun protection on.
So just in that 13 miles,
we saw people crashing because they haven't seen it.
Right.
And I think this is the answer. It's you can't see it. They have engineers watching the whole track and still don't see such things coming.
I would agree. I went for a ride with one of our motorsports people over there as a passenger in the car. And I've been in just about every kind of race car there is. And that was one instance where I felt like I was going to pee my pants, because it was just, it was crazy. I mean, he would wait till the last minute to brake.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the corner going, there's no way we're going to go around that at this speed. And then the length of the track. I mean, I was fatigued before the lap was over, and I was sitting in the passenger seat. So it was...
Do you know what the worst situation is?
What's that?
If you are a passenger and if you say like, oh, there's the exit, I made it, and they go for a second or third
you're
lap,
like,
and then you're 30 minutes.
I'm not going to make it.
30 minutes in this car. Oh God. Yeah.
It wasn't.
I had this a few times, and I was like,
I was enjoying it, but I was terrified.
Yeah.
You know, it's like being on a roller coaster. You have no control over what's happening, but it makes you so happy you want to do it again. It's just terrifying.
I've heard that, Steve Von Segren, our marketing manager, said it was the most terrifying thing he's ever done.
Yeah, and I mean, I've ridden, ridden in trophy
trucks
trucks and all kinds of different types of race cars, race motorcycles, and still, to this day, that is the most terrifying ride I've ever had.
Crazy.
That speed is just what scares you.
What kind of car was it?
It was one of the company... it was Walter Rolls, one of Walter Rolls cars, one of the Porsche GT3 cars. Yeah. So, and they put a professional driver in it, one of our motorsports drivers, and that was it. It was
crazy,
scary,
insane.
Yeah. So, on the topic of racing, so you've been to the United States a few times now, and you've joined us at a few different events for what we call racing or off-roading and things like that. So, tell us about your experience with the U.S.-based type of event that you've been at, and how it's different from what happens in Germany.
Yeah, yesterday we sat together at the dinner, and we said like, oh, we would need to exchange those experience more, because what you just said, it was the most terrifying thing you ever did. This is BILSTEIN, and the U.S. thing is insane too. Like, I never went so fast off-roading or did rock climbing before, and this is what I loved, to be honest. It was I had a day with Shane at the Easter Jeep Safari
in Moab
event in Moab 2 years ago.
Did he scare you?
Fabi drove the whole time.
Fabi drove. Okay. So he scared himself.
Shane was scared.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
we did create some videos out there, and we had a spotter, and he said like, no, it's fine, and we both looked at each other and said like, the car is rolling over. No, but this is great, really, that you can drive so fast off-roading, like on the sand or like on different kind of surface, and then we drove, I don't know, 90 miles, and it was or 90 kmh, I don't know, it was, but it was very fast,
right?
And it was very cool that this is possible.
Yeah. So, what did you think of that type of rock crawling compared to what? I mean, there's nothing like that in Germany, right?
No, it's not. We don't have this at all. Those off-road cars which you have here are very, very rare in Germany.
Right.
And most of them are stock, so small tires. They are not lifted. So we have also Jeeps, but they are always stock. But when you put like big wheels on it and lift it.
The suspension. So Shane, you have to tell me, what trail was this that he was on? Because I know just about all of them. And what was scaring you?
He did some good ones.
Yeah.
He did Behind the Rocks.
Okay. And so
I wouldn't really say it.
Who was the spotter that was getting us all crossed up here?
People that, as far as the scary part,
yeah,
that was Marlin.
Oh, Marlin and Luna.
And Luna.
Yeah.
We were on a trail with them, and Marlin was spotting us.
Oh, so you had Marlin. He's a crazy guy, right? So he tried to make you take a really weird line.
Well, he was like absolute confidence that we're going to make it, but we're like...
Okay. Yeah. Now I understand the situation.
He's like, I swear to God, you will make it. Go forward. And we're just like, no, we're not going to do it.
Now it makes sense, because I'm like, I don't think Shane gets scared off-roading, but now that you've explained the situation to me...
We're trying to like go up just a trail, and it was it was Steel Bender. And the last time I was on Steel Bender, it was in my Jeep Cherokee with 31s, and
right. And the trail's
all challenging then.
Beat now,
but it was like we were gonna go shoot some Bronco footage, and
you're in the Bronco or in the Jeep?
Yeah, we were in the Bronco.
Yeah. In the Bronco, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot different than the last time I'd been there. But we did, but Marlin was picking a line.
Oh, good one for you, yeah. Give you a little excitement.
I don't think he was doing it on purpose. It just different frame of reference.
Yeah, that's right. Some people, they want to give you a little bit of wobble in your hands.
He did,
especially since you were driving, right?
But Fabi drove Behind the Rocks, Tiptoe Behind the Rocks. I believe.
Yep.
We kept going around on that one.
It was a half
shelf,
day, really.
Yeah, and then we did Poison Spider,
which is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he drove both of those in, I believe, one day, or was it over a couple days? But
one day. What? Yeah.
I made Fabi drive the whole time.
Yeah, I kind of do the same, because it gets, for us to get used to it, and it's with Marlin as a spotter, you can't go wrong, right?
That was just that one section.
Yeah.
So what other events have you attended here that kind of stick in your mind? Anything else that...
I think it was not really another event I participated for the weekend Overland Expos planned.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that...
we did the off-road from SEMA.
Yeah, you're right.
Together.
Many years ago.
Yeah, 2019.
Yeah. And so after SEMA, we got a lot of people, like 15.
Yeah,
20 people.
And did the reverse route to the off-road to SEMA. Yeah.
Did a primary off-road route all the way back to San Diego. And
how was that?
And it was beginners. We took people with good following. We had some customers. We had some management members with us, and we were all not into off-roading. And I think you guys who made the tour had a headache sometimes, like, oh God, how long do they take?
Oh, yeah. We told you to pack up an hour ago.
Yeah.
No time for coffee today. Let's go.
There's a long ways to go.
Yeah, true.
But those situations where you are in a cinematic landscape, and then you have like lunch or dinner, and then you just have some, I don't know, quick barbecue, and people sit together. You have cold drinks, and then you're in the middle of the desert. Those situations have been nice.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. You know, there's other events here that we probably need to collaborate more and get you out for some of the other events like King of the Hammers and things like that, where, again, like I told you, being terrified in a car on the ring, or for you, watching people try to go up Chocolate Thunder at night at King of the Hammers would absolutely be terrifying. Yeah. So yeah, there's all that stuff that we still need to do, and I'm glad that you're here and that we get to talk about this kind of stuff. It's something that we need to do more. Like I really think that we don't do it enough. So you are the head of performance products in Germany, correct?
And not really. I had the title of performance and digital marketing.
Okay.
But I took over I'm the team lead of the marketing department right now. So global brand.
Okay.
So this includes everything: performance products, OE replacement products, and the brand.
So I was going to ask so what's new in the performance products side of things for BILSTEIN?
We try to always challenge ourselves and to bring something new. Right now, to be very honest, there is room for improvement because we are not available all the time. With so many serious production cars, KSW, which is custom made,
right?
Custom made things,
custom projects.
Yeah. That
customer special wishes.
Is it called like this? Yeah?
This is how it's my acronym.
Yeah, okay. that we can push it more. But right now there are conversations that we want to really push this performance products more, because our products are great and people always use it on the track. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I was curious, with the large connection to racing. So what products you said they're using Evo R on the race cars, or?
Yes, okay. Different kinds of Evo R. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's Evo RT, 5-way adjustable, or in our car there is a standard Evo R, which is 2-way adjustable, but still alloy, very light. The motorsport department, this is why it's called Competence Center at the end, they at those races, at the round course, at rally racing, something like this, you have extremes, like many more Newton meter of forces the dampers have to handle, and those data, this knowledge goes into the product line of the performance line.
Right.
So they are it's a family of products.
So we still have all of our favorites, the B6, the B8, most of the Evo line and things like that, but you're still kind of working out the details of what's coming new.
Yeah, what we this is what I say when I say we need to improve it. In Germany, you have cars need to be street legal from the TÜV,
right?
So they're very strict, and those Evo R products are now getting. You can street legalize it now much easier, which is very important for us. We want to bring the products we have, B16, Evo S, Evo T1, bring this to new cars which are coming out. And so we try to develop it always a little bit. So this is what people don't see really. But from my perspective, then we change the surface protection or something, or we change the spring seat that it's
paint,
or we change. So we always try to really develop everything more and more. So everything has the same standard. I know that in Ennepetal, for example, where the performance parts are getting produced, they have the same testing as we do for Mercedes or Porsche or something.
Same here. Yeah. We have to pass the same test.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I mean, on that same line, it's like the German market versus the United States market. It seems like there's a lot of similarities, but a lot of more stark differences, simply because of the TÜV, right? The restrictions on what can be done and what cannot be done over there. Where over here, your car can have the taillight dragging on the back of you behind you on the road, but you still have to pass smog.
Yeah.
Other than that, there's no, limitations on the vehicle. So I guess in comparing the two markets, what do you see as the biggest challenge?
I think it has advantages and disadvantages or challenges, but if you need to approve the TÜV testing, you're slower. This is a challenge because they need testing of the material. When does it bend? When does it break? So for everything apart, you need this kind of testing, and those are expensive. If you need to do them officially, not in our own facility, you need to do this officially. But the positive thing is those things are safe, and they don't break. And at the end, our parts are for safe driving as well. Of course, also driving pleasure, etc. But at the end, you need to have this grip on the car that the car behaves like you want to have it. And this is, if you have those hard tests, this is the plus, the positive side on it.
Yeah, that's kind of linking into another question I had about, we constantly get, why is German engineering perceived so much better? And I think that the higher standards that the product is held to, literally that answers the question, right? So here in the United States, we don't have TÜV.
But we still have to adhere to the OEM.
We do, and our products are safe. And I think, all the products that we bring over from the tuning side of the business are designed and pass all the TÜV in Germany, right?
That's even like an extra step.
Yeah, it's almost like building, like the products that come from Germany are almost at the OE Tier 1 level right out of the factory. And I think that's what people are getting their perception of, of German engineering. And I think that I'll use that answer for that question at the shows from now on, because literally you're making an OE type product and it has to pass all those tests. And
I mean, Germany is still America is also, I think, very similar on this level, but this quality of automotive engineering, like all big brands are there, VW, Daimler, Porsche, you can name it. They develop a car, and most of the time they develop it for 3 or 4 years, and then with a facelift, if we put the facelift into this same chassis, those products run for 8 years. So and within the next generation, they even try to improve it. So there are so many levels of fine engineering in it, and so much knowledge that I think this is the what makes German engineering so good. They are very picky and very down to the fact, and then they develop it for such a long time, and
just
for the
keep
next
perfecting
generation.
it.
Keep perfecting it. This is the right way to say it.
So we had that question come up the other day. So let's hear a German actually pronounce the name BILSTEIN.
It's BILSTEIN.
Perfect.
So it's a BILSTEIN.
Yeah, and you kind of on the bill side, you kind of give it a little extra push, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So at the beginning of this, we were all worried that it would be one-sided and Fabi would be overwhelmed, and so he asked if we could let him ask a question. So I'm going to let you ask a question to me and Shane. So it'll be fair.
To be honest, I have to. Is it improvise?
Improvise, or maybe take a few seconds to think about it. Don't have to be, but is there anything that
the question I would have is, what do you like most in your job and at BILSTEIN? What makes you stick to this company and to your job for such a long time?
You want to go first?
I really like shocks.
This is
pretty awesome.
But it's engineering, right? Or what is it?
Well, I mean, like, I'm into off-roading, and shocks are a big part of that. So it's always fun to think about, like, when a new car comes out, what kind of shocks you can put on it to make it work better.
The candy store, right? Open up the candy store and see what I can make.
Like for me, like, I love when a new car comes out. I get infatuated with, like, okay, well, we can make this kind of product, or maybe there's something that somebody didn't think about. That's what I really like.
Yeah, finding white spaces.
Maybe there's like, oh, well, you can do this to this, and then you come out with a product, and it's pretty cool. It's taking risks without my own money. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, shocks are great, and it's a big part of the off-roading, like along with wheels, tires.
Yeah.
But shocks are really important.
It lets you actually work at some place that is kind of a hobby, more or less.
Yeah.
Now
it's fun to have that, to have that connection. A lot of times could be a pain because you're not going fast enough, and it's your hobby, and
right.
You can get frustrated. But I mean, it's like we said, we have all this testing and all these things that we have to deal with being corporate and a tier 1 supplier, and then you have TUV, and so. But I think it's interesting.
There's a lot of work, but it's still fun. So what's funny is I had someone ask me this question 2 days ago.
Really?
Yeah. It was one of our guests that we had here for an episode of her show, and she asked me that exact same question, and I didn't have enough time to think about it, but I gave her a decent answer. But I would mirror a lot of what Shane said, except for the fact that I have to, since my job's a little bit different than his, I have to say that my favorite part about working here is being able to go to all these different events and work with people from all over the world, learn about all the different products all around the world, and teach people about all those different products. I mean, I say this all the time, but and you kind of said something like this, but sitting in a Jeep in Moab at the top of the world during a snowstorm, and that's my job.
Yeah.
And I drove the Jeep there. So I would say for me, it very much mirrors what Shane says. Is it's my life, it's my job, it's my hobby. So that's what makes it so much fun for me, and that's why I've stayed and I liked it. And just to answer Garrett's question ahead of time, I'm a product trainer and I've been here for 22 years. Yeah. So both of us longtime sufferers, if you will, with the company. But yeah, it's it's been a great ride.
It was a lot different when we were younger, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've mellowed with age, so.
I would say the same interest hasn't changed, but it was pretty fun.
And I would say that our drive for perfection, or our striving for perfection within the company, Shane and I have always kind of shared the same vision about our products and how to use them and where they go and what works and what doesn't. So, and that's probably why we've stayed here for so long.
Cool. Good answer.
Yeah.
And a lot longer than shocks, only. Shocks.
Well, I had to draw a little bit out of him, but you knew what he meant, right?
Yeah, no, I 100% understand it.
So does that feel more fair now? You don't feel like picked
it's
on?
Very fair. I didn't have the feeling that this is unfair.
No, I know. I really think sometimes it's lopsided where, we sit here and ask somebody 100 questions and they never get to ask a question that they might been holding on to. So I wanted to give you that opportunity, and I wanted to thank you again for coming here and spending time with us. I know that we're all super busy. I know that you had to fly here and you've got a million things to do, but to spend time with us on podcast and talk about stuff to me that really matters, I really enjoyed talking with you. Shane, thanks for being with us, and thank you all for watching. Post your comments down below. Let us know if you have any questions or comments, and we'll talk to you next episode. Thanks for joining us on Shock Talk.